live.
There, everybody.
Hello,
Do we have
hello.
any viewers?
It's just saying two right now. One of them's Rudolph.
Oh,
Hey.
Rudolph's here. I saw him in the chat thing.
Yep.
Hold on. Pop out.
Anyways, welcome everybody to, welcome back to Princes of the Apocalypse. Unfortunately, Amos, our bard, couldn't be here tonight. So I will be running that character, but in the meantime, I believe our players have some plans. Does someone want to try and, who wants to try and recap what happened last session, I guess?
I think we had a lot of diplomacy last session.
I
We
mean, you
didn't
did.
do much, if I recall correctly.
So
No.
last session to start out with, we ended up destroying that wizard who ambushed us with a shatter spell.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he managed to grab it off. But his buddies that were there to what were they called?
The bringers of woe.
bringers.
Doom speakers or something like that.
The bringers of woe. Yep.
The woe bringers. The bringers of woe failed to bring woe
Yes.
to any but themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really bring woe to themselves. We crushed them
Yeah, it's almost like they were like.
because we had pretty good rolls and they had pretty crappy rolls.
I'm trying to remember. I think they were just like bandits or something. Huh. Yeah, they were just bandits. So like CR 1/8.
And we destroyed them.
Uh-huh.
They didn't stand a chance. And yeah, after that we went back
We were only level.
You all should be level 3 at this point.
And we did some investigating.
Mm-hmm.
We did some investigating, found some names, gave some names to the constable, and then we heard a rumor about like some new shallow graves that has been dug up south of the Slumber Hills.
Not that they were not dug up. They were a shepherd.
Well,
a shepherd actually noticed them out there. He's
well, they were freshly dug.
Yes. Like there wasn't any there, and then like a few weeks later, when he looked again, suddenly there was, and so he's telling stories off in Red Larch about it.
So yeah, we decided to go investigate that, and we also heard about some. I forgot what the name of those. Yeah.
Mara Barons?
Yep. Yeah. Mara Barons. Yep. You found 4 of their trade bars in the in the tomb, and then also what was his name? The guy who runs.
And I suspect that either the bodies that we stumbled upon that were ritually sacrificed were them, or the shallow graves are full of them also, possibly. One or the other or both.
I'm
calling it right now.
Well, they were seen on the opposite side of the mount of the Slumber Hills.
Yep.
Slumber Hills.
Yes. The guy who runs the All Faith Shrine, because he is a member of the Gauntlet, or the Order of the Gauntlet, decided to let Varjak know that this
actually, I believe it was they were supposed to arrive on the other side of the Slumber Hills and never showed up.
Did I tell you where they were supposed
to? If I recall.
I think I did tell you where they were supposed to drive. In that case, I can actually show you.
Well, from what I recall, they were seen in
Belliard. They were supposed to go to Belliard.
The last place they were seen was Belliard. In fact, the place they were supposed to go is here, Summit
Hall. Seen in
Belliard. This was their target location. The last place they were seen was Belliard.
Aha.
I feel like Jake is on kind of a delay right now.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
we can try disconnecting and reconnecting.
Ah, you broke everything.
Oh, it's fixed now.
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep, that sounds better. All right.
Uh,
Ha.
but yep. So
All right.
while the constable handles things in town, as is his job, the party decided to first check out the shallow graves, see if there's anything interesting there, and then if they don't find anything interesting, they're gonna try to make their way up to Bellarg to see what happened to that caravan.
All right. Now
And
we woke up. We are rested,
mm-hmm.
and we are going on the road.
Yep,
And
if there's no other supplies you guys need, then yeah,
I
you're
don't think so.
okay.
I'm pretty sure I still got my 10 rations. So yeah, I'm good.
Alrighty.
Hi ho,
Yeah, I believe.
hi ho.
Yep. So
It's off to work we go.
yep. It's very early in the morning when you all manage to get up out of bed, um, and begin making your way down out of town down the Carn Road. So
Is
current
that pronounced
So
Karen?
or
when we
Cairn,
step out
yes,
of
my
the
bad,
inn,
Cairn Road.
Mel like kind of just stretches, takes a deep breath of the cool morning air. It's like back on the road,
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
All
on
and then we go.
for Barjock, he wakes up super grumpy because I imagine it's like 5 in the morning, right,
right. Probably.
or something like that. So he's just like wakes up, and he's just like, I hate waking up that early in the morning.
And 10 minutes just like, early morning. The
Ten.
best time of day.
Son of
Oh,
a bitch.
oh gosh, I.
All right,
All
so
right.
who wants to lead the way then? I imagine DM, you're going to ask us for a survival check or something.
Um, let's see. Well, for the most part, you're
Yeah,
able.
I'll guess I'll take the lead on the road.
All right, yeah. I mean, for the most part, you're following the road. For the first, uh, let's see here. For the first like 2 or so hours, you're mostly on the road. Eventually, it does reach the point where, going by your map, you're gonna have to cut off. And let's see here. Well, you're good for
Random
now.
encounter?
Uh, hmm.
Random encounter?
Yep. Nope. No random encounter.
Okay.
Uh, I only rolled an 11, so you're good for now. Um, but anyways, yeah, you travel along the road, and the day seems clear. No major issues. You pass some people on the. Actually, well, no, you don't really pass many people on this road. The long road is the far more popular, or the far more traveled road. But eventually you need to cut your way off. At this point, yes, I will need a survival check from someone to find where the graves are. You have a rough area from where you were pointed to on the map, but you actually need to, find them.
That survival.
Does anyone have a
Perhaps.
better than +4 in survival?
Uh,
I've got the same.
Survival or investigation
All
that
right.
could also work.
So I guess I'll check and it will help me.
Got a good
Yeah.
investigation.
Sure,
I guess I'll do the check and Tedman will help me.
sure, that sounds good. 23? Oh, yeah, you spot it.
23.
Okay. Go ahead and pull up my notes on this. Shallow graves.
So late morning, we find grave.
Yeah, it's getting to be about noon at this point.
Full of zombies. Kill the
full of
zombies!
zombies.
Ah!
Nope. Yeah, you make your way out, and it's mostly just rolling hills and just field, or not really fields, but just mostly rolling hills for as far as you can see. But eventually, you do manage to spot one off in the distance. Let's see here. As you approach uh, this barren hilltop, a few miles out from Red Larch, you find four freshly dug shallow graves. The earth scraped out of each hole is piled nearby, and what appears to be hastily gathered stones cover the graves. The faint smell of death hangs in the air, and several vultures circle overhead.
Let's desecrate some graves.
Desecrate some graves. All right.
So yeah, I guess I'm going to. Can I roll like an investigation check, for to see like who those guys were and how they were killed, maybe?
And I will help.
Sure. Sure.
Well,
Go
killed
ahead.
is an assumption. Let's say how they died,
Yeah.
and I am going to take out like a potion vial that is filled with some kind of murky liquid that I brewed myself this morning,
Uh
as one would do a coffee,
oh.
and I'm gonna drink it. This one is called Sagacity, and it makes me smarter.
Oh,
Wow.
nifty. So coffee.
Yep, basically. But there is a downside to that one, which is you have a disadvantage on charisma saving throws. They're rare, so it should be fine.
Yeah. No. All right. So give
And
give
anyway,
give me your roll, smart boy.
I was already bad at charisma saving throws. So, is someone helping me, or I'm doing this on my own?
I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, Tedman will help. Sure.
Yeah,
All
yes, you're
right,
being helped.
24.
24.
We are
Okay.
assisting in the investigation.
Okay. So it takes a few minutes to unpile the stones from these graves. Um, you find several, well, corpses. Let's see here. Grave
Yep, I
occupants.
imagine I do find some corpses.
Yes, no, the graves have corpses, surprisingly enough. Um, there is one male dwarf dressed in artisan robes. One
You
female.
sure they don't have candy?
Hmm? Sorry, what was that?
It was just a joke. Don't worry.
Okay.
It
uh,
was one what dressed in artisan robes?
one male dwarf dressed in artisan's robes. One female human warrior
Okay.
dressed in a black surcoat with a red axe on it.
All right, a male artisan dwarf,
Mm-hmm.
female human warrior,
Yep.
and then
With she's got the the
And
female
he was
warrior
wearing
with
what
the
again? A red.
red axe, or the red axe symbol. Yep. One male human warrior dressed in a black coat with strange stony armor, and
I have to repeat that: male human.
I'll just here.
The male human warrior with stony armor.
There you go. It's in the chat. And
Oh, there we go. Mm.
yep. And then one male human in white robes with black feathers on their shoulder.
Robes
Mm-hmm.
and feathers.
Yep.
With a 24, can I guess what the form of death was?
Actually, you can. Yeah, with 24, they all seem to have died from arrow wounds or crushing blows.
Ooh.
Looking around the area, um, I'll say, actually, yeah, I'll say Tedman, with your help, what you've been doing is looking around the area. Um,
Do we find anything? Do we find anything that might indicate if they're from Mirabar?
actually, yeah. Hmm. Do you want to? I'm trying to remember who I had actually know about Meribar before. I think it was Barjak.
Yeah, I think it was me because I'm good
Yes.
with history.
Okay, so roll history with advantage.
I believe it's about
Yeah, no, 14's enough. The DC was low on this. You do actually recognize
ouch.
the axe. The symbol of the red axe that she's wearing is a symbol of Mirabar.
Huh.
So this one person, or the she was definitely a warrior from their caravan. Um,
Well, it pains me to say that you were right. They are from Mirabar. At least this one is.
yep. You do also
Yeah.
recognize the
Ah,
while the
well.
wizard you fought uh wasn't wearing any armor, he was just kind of in robes. It does the earth armor does seem to be like in a similar vein to the stone mask he was wearing.
Right. So so I'm going to inform them of everything that I have found out.
Mm-hmm.
That they were killed by arrows and crushing blows. That one of them is from Mirabar, and another one is from a seems to have be coming from the same cult as the mage we fought, and yeah, that's pretty much everything I can discern right now.
Yep. So while he's looking at that, does someone want to investigate the area around? I suppose.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm delayed again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm delayed again.
Oh yeah, no,
Anyways,
yeah, no. Your
um,
picture is talking well before your voice shows up.
is there fantastic? I've been noticing that from you guys too.
Oh,
This is
that's weird.
fantastic. Anyways, does it say who died from the arrows and who died from the crushing blows?
Hmm. Let's see here. Um,
Jake,
it
if you want to try
If it,
to
I mean, I don't know that it's important or not. If it does, if like your notes don't specify.
it doesn't, but it does give me
But
information about what actually happened. It seems that uh,
okay,
let's see here.
yeah, yeah, that's another thing. With the with Barjak with his 24 investigation, is there any way maybe he could piece together from the evidence we found what happened, or like make a good guess at what happened?
Um, well, it looks like the one most of them seem to have arrow wounds. The only one that really seems to have any crushing damage done to them is the one in the white robes. Um,
is there any
Okay,
symbols on them?
all
Like
right,
I
I'm
know
gonna
there
try
is the symbol
disconnecting and
of
reconnecting again.
I know there is the symbol of the red axe, right?
mm-hmm.
But is there any symbols on like the one with the stone armor or the one with the white robes that would maybe look like this one on the top left corner, maybe?
The top
All right.
left corner. Ah, that one. Um, Hmm. You don't see any markings on the person, but it does. But the getup does seem a little. Um. Hmm. The getup does seem a little familiar to those people who attacked your caravan.
Son of a bitch.
Not exactly the same. Those people were all wearing armor,
Mm-hmm.
but like given the aesthetic, it would be safe to assume.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um, and let's see, given the area, yeah, I guess 24 is good enough to actually. I'll say that counts also for looking around the graves too, because that was a solid roll. Um, looking around the area, trying to put together, uh, what you find, there there seems to be a very a confused collection of tracks, a few broken arrows, a discarded javelin, and a tattered gray cloak. Like there was a serious battle here at this area. Also,
Can I see where the tracks left to? Or
um,
like the direction? Can I see like
where they?
all right. So I imagine there are tracks that lead to the side of the fight, and then I imagine there is a set of tracks that lead from the set of the fight, right? So can I try and see what the tracks that leave the zone, the area of the fight, basically?
That's a good question. While I'm doing that, if someone wants to try and roll me a perception check.
Not me.
Sure.
18. Okay. We'll get to that in a second. I'm just kind of checking through the story of what happened, trying to figure out if I can see where they went and where they're going to. Wait, really? Really? That's that's a bit bizarre. Okay, I guess. I guess. Why would they? That's dumb. Shall.
Let me
Okay.
guess. They flew over here.
Uh. Okay.
They
Well.
did a huge convoluted detour or something.
Yeah. No. The shallow graves are a bit of a weird detour. I'm trying to figure out like because they went to one place and then they went another, but then apparently they got ambushed or they got ambushed over here. Like, okay, that's weird. Um,
If they all right.
okay. Let's see here. Um,
Hey, hey! Not everyone has great spatial awareness,
not everyone has a good sense of direction. Fair
even
enough.
when you put it on a map in front of their face.
Fair enough.
Well, some people can't read maps.
Mm. They must have took a wrong
Yeah,
turn.
exactly.
Oh wait. Oh, did they go all the way down there? Oh, they went all the way down. Oh, oh, I see.
Maybe they were like going down the river.
Okay. No, I see what happened. Okay. I just didn't realize they went all the way to there. Okay. Yes. So, you're here at the shallow graves. Uh, it's a little hard to tell where all they were coming from. Uh, most of the tracks around here can only be seen because they're like there's just a lot of them. There was definitely a scuffle in this area. Um, with your 24 investigation, they seemed to be heading. Some of them seem to have been heading like this direction.
Hold on. Which direction?
Can you see my arrow?
Nope.
Oh, that's weird.
You might be on the wrong layer.
Oh, that would do it. Yep, I'm on the GM layer. They seem to have gone this direction,
Okay.
and they seem to have come generally from this direction.
Okay. So they
So,
left that way.
so basically, they kind of went like this.
Okay.
Generally, it's a little hard to tell. Um, you could maybe try and track it, but it would be very difficult because this is just open fields. There's not exactly a lot that they can, make to leave marks. It's just that there was a battle here, so you can
Well,
definitely
sure,
see.
I can. Well, I mean, I can certainly try,
You could
right?
certainly
We're,
try.
we're not
Also,
losing anything.
Tedmund,
Yeah.
you do see something. So while Barjak is investigating around, trying to figure out all that's going on, let's see here. Something catches your attention off in the distance. Uh, you have a good view of the surrounding hills from this vantage point. Several miles to the west, you can make out the tiny outline of Red Larch and a thin, dark line marking the long road. Several miles to the north, you see a slender old tower circled by large birds. They're really those are the only major landmarks you can see. There doesn't seem to be anything else. I'll go ahead and
North
review
of us or north of Red Larch?
north of you. I'll go ahead
Of
and actually
us.
show this one. Right about there. A tall spire that seems to be circled by
That
large
is
birds.
northwest.
Yes, it is.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I can see a tower. Hmm. Large birds, like vultures, or
It's a little hard to see.
yeah. Hmm.
They they probably look like small dots, and that's how you know they're very big birds.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And they didn't have anything on them, the four people.
Was it 7.5 miles away?
Um, anything like you're gonna look for anything on the bodies?
Yeah.
Uh, let's see here. No, aside from their armor, they seem
Hmm.
to whatever they had on them was probably taken.
Okay.
So I'm going to turn to the others and say, whoever survived this encounter, they went that way, right? And
Yes.
I mean, yeah, and I'm going to look at them and I'm going to say,
They went which way?
yeah, they went northeast. And I could try and follow their tracks, but it might be a little bit difficult.
It'll
So
be very difficult.
yeah, it will be difficult. So might not be the best course of action.
So they're so they're heading towards the river.
Yeah, yes.
Yep, along the foothills of the mountains towards the river. Yep.
Yes.
Hmm.
Okay.
The lag is real.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right. Let me try again. Can you hear
Yeah, we can hear you. It always works when you come
me?
back. Just try not to activate your camera. I think that's what is lagging it. When it happened to me, it was the camera that was the culprit.
Hmm.
That's weird.
Anyway, so All right, so I'm going to turn back to the others and say, like, so who wants to try and probably fail track these people, and who wants to go and see what the deal is with this tower? Because I imagine I don't know shit about this tower, right?
Uh, you know you haven't heard of it before.
Yeah.
Actually, well, hmm. I suppose.
All right, testing. Can you hear me still? Am I still lagging?
Yep.
Yep.
No, you're sounding much better now.
Yeah.
Okay,
I suppose there's a chance you could have. Uh,
that was this still took you guys a little while to respond, so it's still happening.
really? Darn. Um, there's a chance you could have heard of it
Yep.
before. If you want to roll some history,
History.
sure.
My basically my pure caffeine is making my brain run super fast, and I'm a better thinker because of it. So let's see, 21.
I'm running 1,000 calculations at the same time, and all of them are wrong. Um, 21. Ooh, yeah, possibly. Um, so you didn't you being from Waterdeep, you would have heard of the you may have heard of them before. Um, and you didn't put it together. It just kind of suddenly kind of clicks in your head. You remember those mounted characters that fought your caravan, and then you remember this. You've heard of them before. They are um, the Feathergale Society. I believe society is the word. Um, yeah, Feathergale Society, a Waterhaven aerial mount group of Waterhaven aerial mount enthusiasts who have pretensions of nobility. They call themselves the Feathergale Knights. And this, you think,
Tower might be owned by the Federal Society. They are aerial enthusiasts.
Yep. And you think
Pretending
that
to be
this might
noble.
be their headquarters, the Feathergale Spire.
So I imagine they are indeed riding some griffins.
Hmm.
They are an aerial enthusiast pretending to be nobles.
Pretty much.
The tower might be their HQ.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I imagine the reason why I didn't put two and two together is because, like, they don't have the reputation to be hostile, do they?
Uh, not not when you heard about them. No. They were just kind of like bored rich people who fly around on, giant vultures and griffins and go hunting things and, just to show off. Uh, when you had previously heard about them, no, definitely not. They were like basically just a rich people's club.
But now, do I think that the ones that attacked my caravan might be those ones? It's
It's
still a bit of a stretch in my mind.
um, it seem it seems familiar. Uh, but again, like that's not what they normally did, or not what they previously did, as far as you knew. But the fact that they, rode around on giant birds, that's not exactly an entirely normal thing to do.
Sure.
So it's possible, but at least that kind of like jogged your memory a little bit.
All right, I think I'm gonna like disconnect, close my Discord, and try restarting my Discord to see if that
Okie doke.
helps. I will be right back.
So I am going to relay the information to everyone here. Two of which are basically absent-minded at the moment. So I'm just going to turn back to the group and I'm going to tell them like, all right, well, like I said, odds of us following those tracks right here are pretty slim. However, that seems, if I might venture a guess, that seems to be the Feathergale Spire, owned by the Feathergale Society, and the Feathergale Knights, who are members of the Feathergale Society, are basically bored nobles, bored rich kids that bought griffins and who
All
fly
right.
around in their free time. You still sound good.
All right. Hopefully it stays that way.
Well, we'll see. So, yeah, I'm basically recounting to the group what the DM told me, right?
Mhm.
So I'm basically telling like, hey, that tower over there, it's owned by a society of bored rich people. They might have seen what happened here. Would you guys like to go ask them some questions?
Might as
Sure.
well.
Maybe they saw something.
That's my guess. But I also want to warn you, when I first made my way to Red Larch, I was with a caravan that was attacked by riders on top of griffins. And usually normal
So maybe
highwaymen don't really have access to griffins. So I have some doubts about the Feathergale Society.
right.
So yeah,
So be prepared for fight. Let's do it.
yeah, basically. But yeah, they're birds. If they cause us trouble, shoot them down and fire them down.
Set them on fire.
Yeah, basically. All right. So I guess we have a
What I
consensus.
can do.
Yep. I guess we have a consensus. Let's go see.
All right. See, you guys are gonna make your way over to the Feathergale Spire. Go ahead
Sure.
and
Yeah.
all right. Uh, let's see, about 8 miles to get there.
Which is like another 5.5 hours away. How long would you say we were spent investigating the shallow grave?
I mean,
There, DM.
a little while. Um,
And I mean, an hour would make sense.
yeah,
Like
maybe an hour at most, because it did take you a while
a couple
to move all those
hours.
stones. So let's see here.
So it's probably about midday. Because if we left at like 5 in the morning, it was like 5 or so hours to get there. Like an hour or two investigating. It's about midday.
Uh, actually, yeah, it's just about getting noon.
And that place is like a couple of.
Yeah, by the time you get to the Feathergale Spire, it should be about noon.
So that place is like about 2. No, I'm saying it's about noon that we start heading towards it.
Oh, yes, I suppose so.
And it's going to be about 2 to 3 hours to get there. Maybe a little longer because it's getting into the hills there.
Yep.
Okay, so still plenty of time left in the day.
Yep, and plenty of time to get back to Red Larch if you need it. All right.
I don't know about all that, but
Anyway,
then.
random encounter.
Yeah, no, you yeah, you guys make it there safely. Um, so as you begin to make your way in,
Run to
or make your way towards the tower, your path is not fully blocked, but you do have to make your way around a little ways because you see between you and the tower a giant valley open up. Um, let's even like at this shorter side, it seemed, or towards the end of the valley, the drop seems to be almost about 200 feet down.
So basically, what I'm picturing is the tower is built on top of like a hill
I
in
can
the middle of a valley,
actually I
something
can
like
go
that.
ahead and show you the map if you want.
Sure.
All right, let's see this one.
I mean, if we're there,
Yeah.
aha.
Yep. So this is the. Oh, I go to the right layer. This is the spire you're headed towards.
I can see that.
And
And where did we come from?
you guys are coming from more the southerly direction, so you guys are kind of making your way along the edge over here.
Right. Sure, fair enough.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Let me go ahead and. Yep. This is a. You're walking along. It appears to be just a very wide canyon.
But we're on the same side of this valley as the spire.
Yes. Yes. You are on the correct side. You just kind of have to work your. It's not like a direct walk
Okay.
across. You have to like kind of work your way around a little bit. But you are on the correct side.
Right.
Right.
Looking down, you see a small river flowing through and several rock spires from the canyon floor. And listening closely, you can almost hear like a howling sound as the wind rips through the valley.
As we get closer, are the big birds really griffins?
Let's see here.
Or are they just really big birds? I hope they're not rocks.
That'd be cool, but no.
That wouldn't be cool. That would not be cool.
What are you talking about? Rocks are awesome. Let's see.
I agree with Vince on that one. I am in agreement with Bartok. Not cool.
Getting closer, it looks to be that they are a pair of giant vultures.
Huh.
If someone wants to make a perception check on them, they can.
Again, not me.
Sure. 21.
21. So as you get closer, you're starting to see more details on the spire, and looking up, it appears that these giant vultures circling around have riders on them. And it does appear that they are wearing some very familiar looking white robes.
Like with the feathers on them, or?
Or actually, wait, no, hold on. No, I think these guys are wearing armor.
So
Uh,
familiar to me.
yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Uh-huh. Let's see, what do they have? Oh, they only have scale mail, but yes, they're wearing some kind of armor with, like white trim, white robes underneath.
which is exactly the kind of armor that the ones that attacked my caravan wore, right?
Yep, some of them that attacked your caravan were definitely wearing a similar looking armor.
I'm going to grab everyone. I'm going to grab Tedman and Velik by the shoulder and basically try to stop Amos from going forward any further too. And I was like, everyone hold the fuck up. Yep,
Why?
that's them. Those guys are a bunch of murderers. And yeah, I'm basically going to tell them the story of the caravan, right? Basically, like I got hired by a caravan to protect them, as they were making their way to Red Larch. But then we were attacked by a bunch of people on the back of griffins. I tried to fight them off. I didn't manage to do it. I fell unconscious, and when I woke up, everyone was dead, and they were wearing the same kind of armor as that one, and they had this sigil on them. Hold on,
Wait,
this sigil on them.
did I say they were riding griffins before?
I'm pretty sure you said they were riding griffins.
Oh, whoops! It's hippogriffs, not griffins. My bad. I was just looking at their character sheets right now. It's hippogriffs or giant
Hold on,
vultures. My bad.
let me see.
I may have said griffins.
All
Well,
right.
whatever. Those guys were riding griffins.
Well, okay. No, you're right. It was a hippogriff. Sorry, everyone.
Griffins
Hippogriffs.
are a lot more temperamental than that.
Yeah, but anyway, so I just like a kind of like rewind, and then I say they were.
It's fine. It's not a huge difference.
Mm.
Yes, the and
It's
not
basically the same thing.
not the armored ones, but there were a couple other people that were wearing this symbol. You are correct.
So I'm going to turn back to everyone, and I'm going to say, I mean, I'm pretty sure this changes our approach.
Does it?
Well, I mean,
You're pretty
we
sure
can't.
what?
I'm pretty sure this changes our approach because we can't just go in and ask them questions. Or maybe we can bullshit our way through it. I
Yeah,
don't
I was
know.
about to say, why not?
I don't know what to do now.
I mean, you've got Amos. He's like the king of bullshit.
Hmm.
What do you guys think we should do?
Yes, let the tiefling lie to their good graces. Tieflings are good at that.
Amos kind of like glares at you reproachfully.
Well, what lie is Amos going to tell them?
That's a good question.
Hmm.
Okay, so here's how this is gonna work. I will go ahead and use Amos's
Someone call
stats.
criminal.
Yeah, I will go ahead and use Amos's stats for if you guys need like persuasion rolls or things like that. But I'm still gonna need you guys to tell me what you need him to say.
Sure.
I mean, all we wanted was information. So if you don't think we can trust them for information, we don't have any reason to go there, really. Unless you think we can fight them
We
for
are
revenge.
four.
Yeah.
We are four, and I'm going to point at the two
And
giant
there's
vultures with riders on them. There's at least four of them right there.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I guess yes, technically, if you're counting the vultures.
I am counting the vultures, DM. So yeah. Say we should just keep in mind that they're here.
So we're reasonably certain that these guys are responsible for attacking and killing the people in shallow graves.
Yep, that's what it seems like.
And they also seem to be the ones that killed the guy from Mirabor.
At least one person.
Yeah.
It was a whole caravan of people, so there's still a bunch more Mirabor citizens that you have to find.
Found 4 dead people there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
one of them had the robes with the feathers was the same as these guys. Yes, was
See,
was was my understanding.
it seems like it. Yes.
And another one had armor reminiscent of that wizard guy that we tussled with in the underground.
Correct.
It seems to me that those were two good guys and two bad guys buried there.
Hold on. The
Unless
dwarf,
they're all bad.
the the dwarf, and the lady from Maribor, and then those two, right?
Yes, and then
Hmm.
yeah, the dwarf and the lady warrior probably part of the Mirabar caravan.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a
The
cult.
man in the strange stone armor and the guy in the robe, cultists and bandits. Cultist and bandit, or maybe all cultists, or maybe all
So
bandits. I don't know what these people are, but they're
yeah,
bad people.
yeah, basically. So there is the cult that apparently has some is worshiping, I don't know, stone or something. And then there is this just bunch of rich kids that go around killing caravans and then
They
plunder with
worship
it.
the air.
Wow, what a guess.
Poor,
What? So you're
poor
telling
rich kids.
so you're telling me that there's going to be two other you're telling me that there's going to be two other cults, one that worships the fire and the other worships the water? Come
What
on.
did I say that? No.
No.
Well, that's right. You didn't say it because it's ridiculous.
I don't even. We just know of two cults.
Also, how dare you assume that we're going off of the that set of elements? Maybe we're going off the I can't remember if it's Japanese or
The
Chinese. Yeah, the
Chinese.
Chinese one where it's not wind, it's metal. How dare you?
No, there is wind, but there
Wood.
is
Yeah.
not earth. There is wood and metal
Oh, right,
instead
right,
of
right.
earth.
Yeah,
Uh.
right. It's wood and metal, not yep, not air.
All right. Well,
Oh
Uh,
man.
so should we
what
just
are the
go ahead? Should we just go ahead and try to
Chinese?
freaking? Should we try to commando this thing?
um.
Man, I wish we
I
had a way.
say I'm curious to see if they will attack us on sight or not. You know, I say maybe we don't bullshit these people. So I will take lead in talking to them.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
that is a good
All
point. You
save
are
the
right.
tiefling
that is a good point. You are a
for the
sorcerer,
lies.
so they all have good charisma too.
And then we talk to them about attacks on caravans and dead people we found, and see if they attack us, or maybe they attack us as soon as they see us because they're bad people. And then it's easy. We don't have to talk. We just fight them.
I'm going to
Yeah.
say this is a gamble, but all right.
Yeah, that certainly sounds like a plan.
All right. Lead the way, Velik.
Or we leave.
I
Okay.
I
I
would.
start walking
Yeah.
towards the spire. I don't know how far away we are from the spire, but I'm walking towards the spire. And I'm not trying to be stealthy or anything.
All right, so you're just gonna walk straight up. Okay.
I'm out in the open.
All
All right.
right.
You guys can try to stealth
Yeah. One.
behind me if you want
Mm.
or not. I
You
leave
can.
that choice to you.
I can certainly try and look ridiculous while trying. Sure. I'm gonna try a stealth check. Here I go.
Okay, I will say if you're
Ooh.
going to be stealthy, you are going to be much slower. So
Well, how far away from the spire are we?
I
I
don't
mean,
know. I don't know. How far away
I
do you want to start stealthing?
Well, not
can
that
walk
far.
slowly so they can keep up.
Maybe like I don't know. Maybe like a mile away or so, something like that.
I don't know how. Why does this measure in feet? uh,
All right, let's say
Because
three
not that far.
thousand feet.
3,000 feet. I'm pretty sure that's off the map.
All
No,
right,
it's about here.
all right, freaking fine.
Just give me a point on the map.
Freaking I don't know. Let's say here 2,000 feet then.
Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah, sure.
Hmm.
Uh,
Here would be most of a mile.
But it
It's like
doesn't matter
close to a
because I
mile.
rolled a 5.
you have disadvantage for it. Oh no.
Well, yeah, I got heavy
Yeah.
armor.
So, Tedman. Oh, that's your perception. Okay, so yeah, Barjak. While Tedman and Velik are just kind of walking along,
Deadman
Yeah.
apparently doesn't bother
uh, Barjak, you
with the stealth.
you are the master of stealth. You hide behind the rocks and you dodge roll between them because the rolling helps. And
Yeah, I'm just going to roll around and I'm going to feel super stealthy. I'm just going to say like, "Suck it, Dad."
yeah, yeah, no.
So you have to make the decision if Amos is going to stealth or not.
Uh,
And Deadman apparently isn't going to bother.
Nah.
no, Amos is just gonna follow you guys along. He's
Barjak looks like Kronk from the Emperor's New Groove when he's trying to get rid of
yes,
the llama.
yes, yeah.
I just watched this movie too recently.
Oh man, I gotta watch that one again.
It's a
Anyways,
great movie. I love
In my
it.
head right
but yeah, no.
now. You're going there, Kronk.
Amos is just like whatever, and like he's not about to get himself dirty sneaking around. What are you talking about? um, so yeah, you all begin making your way over
Oh,
to
man.
the Feathergale Spire. Wait, what?
I regret this decision.
Hold- Is that a
Which
misspelling
decision?
on the map?
Walking straight up to them or the stealthing? Trying to stealth.
Okay,
Sighing Valley.
hold on. Just to make sure
Sighing
I'm
Valley?
not crazy. One.
Feathergate.
That does say Feathergate, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Every other source says Feathergale.
All right. Well,
They have a misspelling on their map.
well, Wizard of the Coats. Wizard of the Coats. Didn't
yeah,
see.
yeah, pretty much. Oh man, get your shit together, wizards. Um,
Uh,
so yeah, you begin making your way over.
LT, they're practically the same
Yeah,
thing.
no. Oh my gosh. Okay, but that all I can think of with these books and misspellings is apparently there was like a wizard guide in like second edition, but before that book they were always called mage, but then at
Yep.
that point they decided to rename them to wizards. But whoever was in charge of that just did like a find all replace all, because suddenly all damage said the wizard or image said
The Wizard.
I wizard. Because
Wizard.
it replaced all of mage.
That sounds like a new product from Apple.
I know, right?
The
I know.
iWizard.
The iWizard.
It's basically a wand.
Okay, let's see here. The spire. The Feathergale Spire rises from a pillar of rock high into the air. It's the tallest point for several miles around. Built from white limestone and embellished in marble, the spire resembles a gleaming sword that pierces the sky. As you begin to approach, you manage to keep your footing, but you can feel the breeze that sounds like it's ripping through the valley like flow up and buffet against you as you begin your walk over. Um, Let me go ahead and move you guys to the map then. Let's see, Feathergale Spire. Here it is.
This
Yep, this looks like a
White
dungeon,
map.
all right.
I believe you guys are probably seeing mostly black right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, hold on. Let me get your tokens down.
I am
Varjak,
seeing all black right now.
Amos, Tedmund, and
Oh, there I am.
Velik.
There I am.
Whoa, Velik, why are you tiny?
Uh-huh.
He was a pixie all along.
There we go. Got that fixed. Let's see. I believe it was Control L to check vision. Okay, yeah, so Velik, you can see fine.
This
Yeah.
is lagging real hard.
Yeah, I've noticed. You guys can see all right then?
The
I'm gonna
internet
be right
seems
here.
in general today be all kinds.
I am right here, hiding in the dark.
All right. Before you, so you see this tower. Let's see here. There appears to be a gatehouse on the opposite cliff with this drawbridge as its only point of entry. All around the tower, tall, wide windows uh, um, in like encompass the entire bottom level of the tower, aside from the gatehouse itself. Um, do any of you? I guess. Are any of you feeling brave enough to look over the cliffside?
Sure.
I'm pretty sure Barjok is scared of heights.
All right. So yeah, Tedmund, looking over the edge, you see down below, uh, basically almost like built into the walls. Uh, you basically like see gateways down below the tower. Um, with each above each of them, there is a sculpture of a hippogriff leaping into flight. Um, and then, of course, in front of you, underneath that bridge, is the valley you've been walking along this whole time, which, drops about 200 feet down.
That wouldn't be a fun fall.
No,
Nope.
no, it wouldn't.
I mean, before we do, I see like any other riders around? Because right now
Nope, just
I only saw the two, and it
Yeah, I
makes
think
me
those
nervous.
that were bother us
yeah, no, it was just those two up above.
apparently.
They kind of, if they did spot you, they just seem to be keeping an eye on you. They haven't done anything.
Right.
Huh.
Well,
The gatehouse is like the gate closed, or is there people there, or
The doorway is
does it
shut.
seem
You can't see
empty?
in there, but the drawbridge is down. Um,
Okay. What do the doors look like?
well, let's see here. I have a bit of a description here. Feathergale Moat. A gap of 20 feet separates the ledge from where the path ends from the nope, the drawbridge is closed. My bad. To the closed drawbridge on the Feathergale Spire. The space between the cliff's edge and the gatehouse drops several hundred feet to the bottom of the canyon. Near the ledge, a brass bell hangs from a wooden post. So,
Oh,
On our side.
yep,
somewhere around here, there's just a bell.
yep, there's just a brass bell, like right here, between Tedman and Velik.
I'm gonna ring the bell.
Okay. Yeah, you ring the
Ding
bell and
dong.
clang,
What kind of
clang.
bell?
And, uh, hold
In
on.
my head, it sounds like a cowbell.
Yeah. Let's see here. So a small window opens up near the gateway, kind of slides open, and you hear a woman call out, hello there, what brings you to the spire?
We have some questions.
Questions, you say?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, yeah, sure. Um, Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check. Or do you want Amos to do it, I suppose?
To roll a what?
Persuasion.
Do I have to persuade her we have questions?
Well, you're trying to
I can do that.
persuade her to like open the door for you.
Oh yeah. I have persuasion. Boom.
14. Um all right. Very well.
It was almost the assistant.
Yeah, we'll say Amos assisted you for that.
Just he just gives a wink to the to the lady.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Go ahead and she says very well. Stand back, and the drawbridge lowers down and the gate opens. There we go.
All of a sudden, out of the shadows, Barjok emerges.
What
Well, I mean,
shadows?
Do
yeah.
does anyone know?
Do I still have to pretend like I'm hiding? Because right now I
It was
just like
meant to go into them.
Yep. So the woman walks out onto the bridge. Um, hel- hello,
What does
you.
she look like?
That's a good question. She seems to be wearing similar armor to the uh the people you've seen riding around. The kind of chainmail over top of white robes. She says,
And the black feathers on their shoulders?
mm-hmm. Yep. She says, if you kind of squints her, like crinkles her eyebrows a little bit and kind of looks, says, you four, if you four would like to follow me in, I'm sure we can answer any of you questions you might have about the Feathergale Society.
That is not exactly what we have questions about.
She turns back around and raises an eyebrow and says, "Oh, what do you?"
There's more questions about recent events that have happened nearby, or relatively recent events.
Okay.
Should we come in, or should someone come out to us? Is
Uh,
what I ask.
well, I mean, you all can come on in. I can take you up to speak to. Let me see. What was his name? I can. I can bring you up to speak to Thurl. If there have been any issues, I'm sure he can help you out with those. Um,
All right. I look back at the others, kind of like, you know, like be ready for anything. And then
you
I head across.
All right.
Hey, DM, I would recommend updating this page for the update on drop for the tokens.
Oh,
For dynamic
I
lighting,
wonder if that's what's
which will
going on.
probably help you provide a bit. Yeah, probably,
Uh,
possibly,
see,
The
legacy.
or
The
at least the
Barjock will
factor.
definitely sigh. He'll just go like, I don't like this.
Legacy lighting. Uh,
I'll whisper to Barjok, well, if ever anything happens, we can just kill everyone inside.
Yeah, very comforting, Tedman.
where is the Well, I'm looking through.
As far as we know, there's a whole garrison of them in there. So yeah, 4 against 50, no worries.
Oh, is it? Oh, is it settings on the map? Maybe.
Pretty sure it should be like somewhere maybe on
Yeah,
the
it's settings
page.
on the map.
Ah,
You go
settings
to
on
the
the
map
map.
settings.
Up. Only update on drop. There we go. There we go. I was looking
Yes.
for options on the tokens.
Where were
Oh
you?
yeah,
Where were you looking for it?
On
Oh no,
Yeah.
no, no. That is a map setting.
Yep.
You otherwise you'd have to do it on every token, and
Yeah.
that is just insane.
All right.
Insane.
Let's see here.
hmm.
The front hall. This
Starting to think that they are more than just nobles.
The entrance is a 30-foot long hall of white stone. At the opposite end of the hall, there are two 12-foot tall doors like those of the entry gate. An eagle carved from massive timber hangs on the far side of the ceiling, suspended by strong chains. Slender wings of steel sweep close to its side, and its head is also fashioned of steel. Um, let's see here. Uh, but yes, the lady here. She says to you, "Oh, by the way, my name is Savara, and you actually have all arrived at a wonderful time." Da, 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 I
Oh
can
great, we could be the ritual sacrifice.
no. If I
You're
can,
just in time
I
for
believe it
dinner, since
was.
you are dinner, because we're cannibals.
uh, I swear there was a thing on here about it being like. Um, well, there is going to be a feast going on tonight, which you are, of course, more than welcome to.
Ah,
If you all will follow me, and she leads you to this center room where a large spiral staircase goes up and downward.
Um, After you, Velik.
This is where my
All
note.
right, so we go.
Now this is where my notes get a little spotty because this is the part I had to prepare for today.
All right,
huh.
Believe that's all of you. Yep.
we take a moment to let the DM collect their thoughts.
Yep. So yeah, she begins taking you up the staircase.
Hold on, I'm lost.
Just go north.
Yeah, just go.
Where am I? Okay, there I am. There I am.
and she takes you up to the very top of the tower.
Very top of the tower. Okay.
Oh, there I am. So I imagine we're on the roof right now.
You didn't
Six
you
of
didn't see
them.
much on your way up because most of the doors were all shut. But eventually you reach the pinnacle of the tower. At the apex of the tower, the stairs terminate into a round stone gazebo that continues upward in a needle-like mironet. Beyond this enclosure, a small lawn grows on top of the tower. 4 paved paths with white stones point in the directions of the compass, each path ending in a pointed stone. Fuck, big words. It ends in a stone point. At the pinnacle's edge is a spyglass on a tripod pointed downwards. You suspect.
Aren't you college educated, DM? Come on.
I'm sorry. Do you know what the fuck this means? Hold on.
Do you know what the fuck this word means? Crenellation.
Crenellation.
Chronolation. Yeah.
All right. These things. These points.
So my question, aren't you college educated?
Yeah, not in architecture.
See, you're like, you know how to say it? Like, yeah, I know exactly what it is, exactly how to say it. Ah,
All right, I've never heard of this term before personally, so that was my
backfire.
Yep.
And I knew that before I was college educated. We play fantasy games and never hear castle terminology.
Apparently not. Or
Yeah,
at
don't
least
you know
nothing
what a
that's stuck.
matriculation is?
Oh man, I know. All right.
Huh?
I'm a horrible nerd. Um, looking out, you can put together that from this vantage point you can see pretty much everywhere around the local area, especially everything that happens in the nearby, or everything that happens in the canyon beneath you and most of the slumbering hills. You see one of the
This is a very good view.
Yep. Actually, this guy is supposed to be flying around. So you see one of those giant vultures going around, and you see another one perched over here, taking a rest. And you also see an older gentleman over here.
Third.
Yep. Savara walks over and introduces him as Thurl Marisoka. He's saying that he's
Nebraska?
he's the one that's in charge here. If you have any questions, I'm sure he'll be able to answer them.
All right. Before we keep going, I'm just going to take Velik by the shoulder and I'm going to tell him, now, whatever you do, we're with you, but choose your words carefully, please.
There's his title.
I'm gonna look at Barjack with this expression like, of course.
I always choose my words carefully.
What a
Who do
silly
you think
thing to
I
say.
am? Duh.
But yeah, he turns to look at you all. The commander of the Feathergale Knights is a well-built man in his early 50s. Embossed feather patterns ornament the plates of his armor, and his kingly cloak boasts a feathered mantle. He smooths his white blonde hair into place and then bows low before you as if he were only a lowly courtier. He says to you, welcome everyone to the Feathergale Spire, retreat of the Feathergale Society. I am Thurl Masoka, the Lord Commander, or Meroska, there we go, Meroska, the Lord Commander. Yes, here it is. This is the thing I was looking for. You all arrived at a most opportune time for um, I invite you all to enjoy the hospitality of our tower. We are uh, tonight going to have a grand feast in honor of the society's 10th year.
All right.
And then he's done.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he stands up and looks at you. Says, anyways, how may I
Right.
help you all?
Give a small bow in return, and I say, uh, "Good afternoon. My name is Velik Plominov. My compatriots and I happened across a grisly scene not terribly far from here, and we were wondering if maybe we saw your birds flying around and the riders on them. We thought perhaps someone may have seen something. We are investigating and would like to, bring justice to whoever perpetrated the crime."
Hmm. Uh, when you begin mentioning these, hmm. You see his you see his expression darken a little bit, and he responds to you, um, unfortunately, a great evil lurks among these hills. Depraved cultists, led by depraved cultists led by wretched monsters. Um, let let us I will be happy to tell you about uh, what we do here, but let us speak of such matters after the feast has warmed our blood a little bit, shall we? If, of course, you are willing to stay.
I feel like we are a little pressed for time, and so the, the sooner we could get any information you may have and continue our investigation, I feel the better chance we have of catching up to these criminals. I do
Um,
not wish to be rude and refuse your generous hospitality, but it is comes down to a matter of priorities, and I feel it is important to catch these people who committed such grisly crimes.
okay. Um, I guess, hold on, let
And then
me.
I kind of leaned towards him conspiratorially, and I put like my hand up to my mouth, like I'm gonna say something secretive. Like, besides, some of my compatriots, and I point a thumb over my shoulder at Barjak, do not do so well in fancy setting.
I thought you were gonna say heights, but all right. Um, okay. Well, if you want, you can go ahead and roll a what was it?
Persuasion,
No,
insight.
not persuasion, insight. Yeah, an insight check on him or on Thurl and Barjak. If you want to go ahead and roll me
Okay.
a perception check.
Oh boy.
I I think I shall use my inspiration on this insight check because I feel like it's important.
Okay.
Oh,
And I just
I
noticed that
had
I did have a point of inspiration.
I had
Woo!
disadvantage on.
Probably
Do you want
away
me
with not using
to?
that, but whatever.
I had disadvantage on DM. Do you want me to roll again
Yeah, I was about to say,
or
why did are you supposed to have disadvantage on?
no?
Okay,
But
then I'll just take that first roll, the 19. Okay.
yay!
I'd say give him the 19
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give him the
since
19.
it's there. And I got a
Um,
15.
15. Okay, with a 15, he seems to be genuine. Like he's just kind of um like he does know something about what's going on, but like there doesn't seem to be, like your joke earlier of like he's going like you guys are the feast. Like he seems to genuinely
Hmm.
be inviting you to this event. Um
That, that was an out of character joke, by the way.
I know it was. I know. I'm just saying like he does genuinely seem to you know, it like he's genuinely offering the hospitality of the tower. Um
Like,
Barjak,
there's no undercurrent of malice.
nope, no malice as far as you can tell. Barjak,
Okay, this is disconcerting.
what? That someone is genuinely nice?
I need better roll.
uh,
There they.
uh, Barjak, you hmm. Standing there next to the pillar, you're kind of like hanging back a little bit, and you begin looking around, and looking at the people, none of them seem to have. Well, they are wearing the knight's armor that you recognize. None of them have seemed to have had that symbol that you've been looking for. However,
Hmm.
uh, stand next to the pillar. It takes you a moment to recognize, but the pattern itself engraved into these marble pillars is that symbol just over and like layered over and over and over again.
Hmm.
Huh. Yeah, I guess Barjok will just like look at it and like brush it off a little bit and say like, nice architecture. Yeah.
Thurl smile or beams at you, just like, yes, it is a wonderful tower, isn't it? You can see from miles. And he kind of like takes a peek into his or takes a peek into the spyglass, and then just uh looks around a bit more. Just quite a lovely place. I'm glad we man, I'm very glad to be in charge of such a lovely establishment.
When did when did it was it built?
When was it built?
Hmm.
Um, hmm, that's a good
I just
question.
want to know: is it a building that he built himself, or is it a building that he inherited, or is it a building that was like derelict and basically abandoned before he like?
Um, let's see here. Um, well, we have the doesn't specifically say in the notes as far as I can tell, so the DM's gonna make a guess.
Yep,
uh,
fair enough.
fair enough. Yep. Um, uh, well, the we of the Feathergale Society um, have actually built this ourselves. Of course, with help. We are, well, we might not have close ties. We are of Waterdeep, so we have, even if uh, we have plenty of members and plenty of, you know, friends who are willing to pitch in, like people from, uh, plenty of nobles, knights, people of the Lord's Alliance, the Order of the Gauntlet. Not those organizations specifically, but we have plenty of people that we know, and plenty of work was put in to make this uh, beautiful retreat where we can uh, store our where we can house our flying creatures more safely than in the city. It's quite a dangerous thing to do there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, thank you for satiating my curiosity.
There's no problem at all, my friend.
Velek, any more questions?
Yes. The original questions stand. Has anyone possibly seen anything recently that is out of the ordinary, such as attacks on caravans?
Hmm. Tax on caravans. Um. Give me a moment just to
Sure.
look at the notes real quick. Um.
We've got a someone in chat asking. Skunk 182 asks, "What's up with Dracula? With Dracula,
Dracula.
Dracula, Dracula,
Yeah, there you go.
whatever."
Oh yeah.
Dracula.
Uh.
Dracula.
Yeah. Squunk is
Asking me about why I'm using that accent.
Yeah. That's the new guy in the Discord. He was there for the last game.
You weren't here last week. He's that's a friend of mine
Mm-hmm.
from high school.
He kind of thinks for a moment and says, "Well, I have heard reports of attacks on caravans around. I mean, this is a. I don't know if I want to say generally lawless land, but it is a lot of open space for things to happen. Um, Anything out of the ordinary, though? Um, hmm. I'm afraid I am generally unsure of what you mean with that.
Well, so attacks on caravans, I admit, probably not so out of the ordinary, but attacks by bandits riding on giant. And I look back at Barjak. What did you say they were? Hippogriffs?
Barjok kind of sighs a little bit and just like, "Yep, that's what I told you."
Yes. Bandits riding hippogriffs, I think is less ordinary.
Hmm.
Can I see like because I can only see this one right here, right? Can I see what her reaction to that is?
What Savara's reaction is?
Yeah.
Huh. Um. Hmm. What would Savara's reaction be to this? She seems concerned because, like, um, cause she's the one that let you guys in, and is just like, um, Thurl kind of like, looks, Thurl looks at you and says, now I'm sure I understand, or I'm sure I understand what you're trying to say here, but sure I understand what you're trying to say here, but I assure to you that we are, well, we are knights. We are here as protectors of the uh, um we are here as protectors and guardians. We are here to protect the surrounding areas and even Waterdeep if it were to come to it. Um, there are there are plenty of dangers in this land.
I kind of put up my hands, like sort of like like whoa, 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 hold on a second. There, this is like, look, no, I will admit, the common tongue of the Sword Coast is not my first language, so perhaps you are not, perhaps you are maybe inferring things I'm not meaning. I am not making any accusations here, but my compatriot has told us a tale of a caravan he was a part of being attacked by bandits on hippogriffs. And the grisly scene we found not far from here, just make sure, because I was kind of coming in and out while we were doing the investigation. There were signs that there were, something similar at that scene where we found the bodies, was my understanding.
Yeah,
Yep.
one of the bodies was one of their own. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm not going to say that. I'm just saying, like, so there were signs, at the grisly scene that we found that indicate that they were also perhaps attacked by such bandits. Here you have a wonderful view and range of sight, and also people on giant birds. I don't know if we've seen any hippogriffs or
Just vultures so far.
the
Although
giant
you
vultures
have seen
here.
like iconography of hippogriffs, so it's not too
That
far
doesn't
of a
mean anything,
guess to say they might have some.
right? But we haven't seen anyone on hippogriffs here and that. And you're giant birds. It seems to me that you are in a great position to see things happening. This site of the attack that we saw, where we just came from, is not more than 7 or 8 miles to the southeast of here.
Hmm.
All I would like to know is if you may have seen maybe people flying on such creatures that are not a member of your society that you don't recognize. Something like that. Anything you have seen that may have struck you as slightly odd, or maybe even anything that didn't seem odd. Any information could be useful.
Hmm. Let's see here. What information would he have? Um. Hmm. I'm sorry because it's like the book lists like, oh, there's two things they could possibly do, but it's like obviously it's D&D. There's 1,000 things like that you guys can do, so I'm trying to like improvise.
Out
um.
of curiosity, what were the two things we could do?
Yeah, in Curse of
Uh.
Strahd, there's something similar that says like if the players confront an X NPC with X information, the NPC will react Y. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Uh. I mean, it's basically the only two options are approach friendly or approach hostile, and you've so far approached friendly, but he's not really willing
I'm
to.
approaching friendly.
Yes, you are approaching friendly, But the problem is you're asking questions that he's really not willing to give up the information on. But he's like, he does, or he basically doesn't.
So it's kind of like a mix of the hostile and friendly approach. Like I'm being friendly, but I'm asking the hostile questions. Is that what it
Yes,
is?
yes, basically. That's basically what's happening.
So improvise,
I would
DM.
say
Do a little bit of both.
Yes, no, that's what I'm
as
sure.
yeah, I would I would say that then in which case he's either gonna have to try and like I would say he's gonna try to like push me more towards the friendly path or react as if I'm being hostile just because I'm not
Yeah, no, that's kind of
accusing him,
what I'm
or like
that's what I'm trying to figure out, but also like I just by saying this out loud is just me trying to stall while I figure that out.
or you could just do one or the other. You could be like, I don't like the question he's asked, like, or you could just be like, keep it simple and be like, well,
Well,
he's
I don't
being
like
nice
you,
and polite and
stab.
all, but I don't like these questions.
Or
Yeah, it could be that.
It's 8:45. We can take a short break while you figure it out.
Well, I think I've got
Yeah,
so
we can do that.
Thurl kind of thinks about it, or kind of like looks over to where you're directing, and he says, um, as I uh as I said, we are um protectors of the area, and there are a great number of evils that have sprung up around here. If um, if there have been attacks, I am unsure. As far as I am aware, the my knights have been accounted for. So if there are, but there are plenty of winged creatures around these wildlands. I'm sure some bandits could have gotten a hold of them. Um, at the at this point, I'm unsure of how I can help you more. As I said before, you are more than welcome to uh, stay here for our feast, um, or if you wish, Savara can show you out.
I'd like to do another insight check on
Okay,
him
go
now,
ahead.
if I may.
Go ahead.
And I don't have inspiration.
Nope.
Please.
I will say Amos can help you out.
Oh no!
I did say Amos can help you out if you want.
Okay.
Um, so Amos has been quiet this whole time, which is a little bizarre for him, but has been kind of watching him, and like nudges you a little bit.
Like almost kind of maybe like whisper something like or whatever.
Yeah, kind of leans over to you and whispers something.
Okay.
So what are you trying to figure out with this insight?
Like, how I'm trying to like maybe read deeper into his reactions to what I'm telling him, and if he's like, still being
honest with you,
straight with me, or if he's trying to bullshit me,
okay,
that sort of thing. Yeah.
He definitely seems like he knows more than he's letting on. Like he's trying to redirect a little bit, but he also seems like he isn't willing to say any more than he already has. But you suspect there is definitely something he is not saying.
All right. So I have a question.
Actually, also with a 23.
Or if you have more to say.
Yeah, I'll say with a 23. he almost seems like he might be probing you back, like he's trying to figure out what's your angle on this. But he still genuinely does seem to want you there for the feast. Like he doesn't have any malice towards you, but it is to a degree to like keep you here and try and figure out what your angle is. He doesn't seem like he's going to attack you outright or currently, but he's trying to figure out what your deal is. And he's kind of like giving
Man,
you
this is confusing. Like, is he a bad guy? Is he not a bad guy?
I am
he doesn't know if you're a bad guy. That's what he's trying to figure out.
well
Or
bad guy
if
from
he,
what his perspective.
yeah, that I guess bad guy is the wrong word. He's trying to figure out if you're an enemy.
Well, right.
Um
Okay, so
and he's kind of like giving you an
seeing some of
ultimatum.
these people up close, how certain can we, seeing some of these people up close, how certain can we be that the guy with the white robes and feathers we found is one of these
Um
Feather Gale people?
Whoever it wasn't a knight because oh,
No
actually
armor.
because of the lack of armor. Actually, how I believe let me go ahead and check one of those guys real quick. You might have actually seen another person like that. Buh, buh, buh. Areas of the spire. Um. Yeah, no, you actually did spot one of those. Uh, like while the armored sets didn't match exactly, there were two figures in the gateway that you passed by that were wearing that same suit. The robe with the feathers on the shoulder.
The robes
Yep.
and no armor.
Uh,
Okay.
well, it seemed like these guys had some kind of like a bit of leather padding going on, but that was about it.
So right.
But yes, it does seem like one of them.
So I'm gonna, so yeah. So okay. So that guy was certainly, I'm like reasonably certain that that guy was a member of the Feather Gale Society.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'll thank him for his time, and I'll start to turn away, and then I'll pause, and I'll turn around, and I'll say, just one more thing. If anyone has ever watched any of the Columbo movies, they should be laughing their ass off right now
Well, I
because I
haven't
am
watched them, but
channeling
I
my
know of
inner
them.
Columbo here. Oh, they're actually pretty good movies. But that's like a trademark of the detective Columbo. He'll talk to the suspect, and he'll seem to like, he'll be very friendly and polite, and he'll seem to buy whatever the suspect's saying, and it'll like turn to go
And then
after
one more
his
thing,
questions are answered,
shoots him.
and then he'll stop and turn around and be like, just one more thing, and then he'll hit him with a question that just sends them for a loop, and they are scrambling to try and come up with a lie to cover their ass, and it's hilarious.
All right.
Uh, so he's like, so everyone who was wearing these white robes and the feathers, and that this is your like uniform for your society.
Kind of nods and says, "Yeah, that's right, or that is correct."
So you say that all of your knights are accounted for, yes? Is everyone in the society a knight, or just the ones in armor?
Um, the ones in armor are. Anyone else you see around here is most likely uh, what's the word? An initiate. They're not quite proven themselves to be knights yet, but they're
Okay,
working on it.
okay.
Why do you wish to?
Are
Do you wish to join?
all of your initiates accounted for?
Mm,
Love
uh,
that lag.
yeah, no. I have not been informed otherwise.
Interesting. How long ago would we say those bodies were killed
Um,
when we investigated? Would we have like any guess?
hmm. I mean, you didn't take a hard look at them. Let's see. Uh,
Well, they've been there for like a couple of
yeah,
days at least.
yeah, at least.
Because I mean, that shepherd had to go out there, find them, come back to
Yes. No, they've been there for
Red March,
they've been
tell
there
the
for a little
story.
while at this
We got out
point.
there the next day, so they've been there for several
Mhm.
days. All right, so yeah, I'll say, yeah, interesting, interesting. Because at the grizzly scene I mentioned before, we found their
Oh.
initiates, and
Oh
they
shit.
have been dead.
Sorry about that.
There's the DM.
Sorry. Discord glitched out on me. Anyways, what were you saying, Jake?
I was saying. So when he answers, that, oh yeah, not he hasn't heard anything about any missing initiates. I would say, oh, this is interesting because at the grisly scene I mentioned before, we found the body dressed in the same manner as one of your initiates, and they have been dead at least for several days.
Mm-hmm. Thurl kind of nods and says, well, yes, as I've stated before, we are knights. We are protectors of this area. And on occasion, some of our men may perish.
You seem unconcerned about losing one of your initiates at all.
As well, as you said, it was several days ago. I have known of this.
Can I tell that he already knew this guy was dead and missing? Huh?
Oh yeah, no, he's saying as much. Um,
That he knew about this guy being dead?
I mean, have you like pointed to like that specific location? Because he's saying we have lost. We have in the attempts to protect the land, we have lost several before. Um, are you like trying to direct him towards the one specific graves?
Well, I said it, that grisly scene that I
Yeah.
mentioned before, which was the
Let's see. Yeah, no. If you're gonna point it specific to the shallow
which was
graves,
those graves. So yes, I
he
specifically pointed out those graves.
yeah he says yes,
Yes.
I am aware of what happened there. There was a skirmish with some cultists, and we lost one of our own.
Well, Velik, this doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
It is normal.
I'd say we could leave.
I have one more question.
Okay.
I have another question, real quick. Maybe more. It is normal practice for you to bury your fallen comrades in shallow graves.
Um, he kind like that. Uh, huh. He kind.
I mean, for a society of honorable knights out
Yeah, no. He kind of like.
protecting the land, I would think they would treat their dead friend with a little more
Yeah, no.
respect.
He when you say that, he almost seems to get angry, or he seems to like get angry just a little bit, just like. Unfortunately, um, during that skirmish, we were unable to retrieve his body. Normally, it would have been taken back here and then dealt with appropriately. No, we would not have put him into the earth like that. I suspect this cult we were in battle with might have something to do with that in particular.
Hmm.
So when I was asking, and I specifically talked about that scene, and he was like, "Oh, we don't know anything about that," and now he's telling me, "Oh, we had a skirmish there, or
He seemed like
whatnot."
he was trying
I'm
to deflect a little bit, like he didn't know particularly which one you were talking about. Um,
uh,
but
I said we just came from a scene about seven, 8 miles from the
okay.
southeast, which is where it was.
And
That
also, he said, like,
And
talk
he
to
was
me
like, "I don't
about
know what
every other
you're about."
scene you've seen, right? Any other strange thing you might have seen, or
yeah,
anything that might have happened,
yeah.
and
He
he
kind
didn't
of
say
like
shit.
yeah he did kind. Now I do remember. Yeah, he kind of like skipped over that because you were also asking like, have you seen anything strange? And he kind of skipped over that scene and just went to like, have you seen anything strange?
Well, I was like, "Have you
He
seen
was
anything
a
strange?" And then I pointed out that one specifically.
yeah, and
Like
he
I
was
said, we were just there.
yeah, and
So
he
he's
was
just
avoiding the question.
ignoring
Yeah, he just avoided the question.
my questions. I understand.
Yeah.
All right. I was like, so I'll try to be more blunt with them. So, like, look, we come across this scene of this fight. Yes, we found bodies in shallow graves, including one of your own, and we are wondering what happened there. What happened to these people? That's why we're here specifically. So, if you were there, could you please enlighten us? We will take the news back to Red Larch
Hmm.
because people there are wondering what has happened, and then everyone knows and knows to be on the lookout for cultists. Please, sir, share your tale with us.
Um. Well, it is as
He's not bullshitting me about fighting cultists at that specific scene, is he?
with a
Oh,
22. No, that seems to genuinely be what happened. Was that there were some cultists and they got into a fight with said cultists. To Claire,
all right.
just for clarity's sake, they they did get into a fight with some Earth cultists. Um, Well, suppose I ask you this in return. What is your I mean, well, I already told you what had happened is uh there were some cultists and uh we it is our duty to protect these lands, and so we attempted to attack, or a small party uh, spotted them while out on patrol and attempted to attack them. Um, Great. It was, from what I have been told, a great battle, and that there were uh, losses on both sides, but we did what we could.
Were your forces victorious? Were they defeated? Did they drive off the cultists? Did the cultists drive you off? Details, good sir. That is what we would like to know. Details. Who
Unfor-
won? Who lost?
Unfortunately, the victory was not entirely ours, although losses were had on both sides. Um, we did manage to drive them off, but we were not able to defeat all of them. What, if you don't mind me asking, what is your interest in this?
What is my answer? I'm trying to decide if I want to tell him more. Uh, let's see. We are assisting the constable in Red Larch with various investigations of things that have been happening recently in the area. That is our interest.
Hmm. Okay.
What's the constable's name again? I have it written down, but not in
Uh,
front of me.
that's a good question.
Let me check. I'll check my notes.
Oh yeah.
One, the constable. I have the constable. Let's go see at the start of my notes. Tedmund, that's not him. Velik, that's you.
Constable Harbuck. Harburk.
That is me. Yes. Yeah. That's right. Harburg.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'll even throw in his names. We are assisting Constable Harburg in Red Larch with his investigations of some strange happenings that have been going on in the inside the Red Larch and around in the surrounding area.
He seems to
A shepherd brought tale of, and so yeah. So I'll leave it at that.
yeah.
We're assisting the constable.
Yep. He takes interest in this at the mention of strange happenings. Strange happenings, you say. And what might be going on there? I mean, they are practically our backyard. You can see them right over there. If there is a danger in the surrounding area, it'd be our pleasure and duty
Yes.
to assist in whatever way we can.
To sum up in a word, cultists.
Hmm. All right.
As to exactly what is happening, we are uncertain. This is why we are investigating.
Okay. Um, what uh, what?
So at this point, I'm hoping the guy's going to tell me something useful or
Yeah,
attack us.
yeah. No, I. Well, you haven't given him.
Well, at this point, Barjok will definitely say that well, we won't get what we want out of that one, I would suggest we leave. We've lost enough time.
I'm trying to figure out what to do because like uh can we do like a 5 minutes so I can figure out what to do here?
Well, I mean, we've been playing for close to 2 hours
Yeah.
now.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This has been like a really boring session, and I'm trying. I'm trying to figure out what to do. I'm like scouring through the notes trying to figure
Well, I
out.
mean, Discord isn't working that well today. I mean, from the energy I'm feeling right now, I'm pretty. A few of us at least are tired, so I would say we could just end the session tonight and try again next time.
I mean, that's up to you guys, I guess. What are we feeling?
I don't know if Vince isn't feeling it, which he doesn't seem to be. Then I think trying to force it to go longer is
But
Okay.
his fault is
like
just
I'm
that.
starting to get a little sick of this going in circles with this
Yeah,
guy.
no, same,
Yeah.
same. Trust me.
To
I'm
be honest,
literally like scouring through my notes trying to figure out cuz literally the two options are just like
like,
either you
I
start like either an attack goes down or you decide to join the feast in which a bunch of things happen. Like at this point it really just does seem like either you leave or but like you haven't given him enough like you haven't said like the specific things to make him be like all right you guys can't live.
Well, we have accused them.
Yeah, yeah, that's not exactly.
apparently my thinly veiled insinuations are too subtle for him. I thought the whole like, oh,
Oh, my
Okay, you know
friend
what,
here
we
was
found
attacked
one
by
of
a
your guys
Bar-
dead at
caravan
the scene.
with
Huh?
people.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. All our
Bar
guys are done for. No, he just tries to pass it
Barjak
off, and every
as
time I answer, he's like, "Oh yeah, no, he's not. He's just not helping everything."
yeah, I'm
Anyway,
sorry. Okay, so okay, you know
yes.
what, here, how about this? Um
Like, is he lying about protecting the caravan?
Sorry, what?
Who, me?
Oh, he's def
Is
he
he lying about protecting the caravan?
about protecting the area?
Think-
Uh he's
Yeah.
um yeah, basically. Um and
Okay. That
Barjak
was something I would have liked to have gotten learned from my conversation. Like
so,
that was kind of what I meant about it.
apologies. I guess I was kind of
He's bullshitting me. Yes, he's bullshitting me. He's like,
yes.
"Oh, we're here to protect." No, you're just another cult, and you're fighting the other cult.
Yeah, no, you begin to pick.
Now I know.
Yeah, okay. That's what we were missing there. Yes. That
Yes,
yes, cuz you haven't seen what Barjak has seen, right?
because that was I would have included that under is he bullshitting me? Yes, he
Apologies.
is bullshitting
Apologies.
me.
There
Now this is good to know.
yes. Barjak
No,
as you
no, he's just not telling you everything. He's like,
All
yes,
right.
my bad. My bad.
All right. People came,
I say
came
we
up
take
the
a break.
stairs.
Yeah.
Let's
Well, we'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and
let's take a break.
yeah, I'll go ahead and say this and then we can take a 5-minute break. Um Barjak, as you kind of like
Okay.
get up from your lean, say like, all right, I think uh we should probably head out. You see a knight and one of the one of those initiates make their way up the stairs behind you, and Thurl says, I really must insist that you stay with us. It will be a glorious it will be a glorious feast, um, uh, and perhaps I can answer, or perhaps once we've gotten to know each other a little better, perhaps I can answer some more of your questions. and there seems to be suddenly a little. There just suddenly seems to be some more menace in the air as these knights begin to load in behind you.
Mm. Yeah.
Ah, yes. Now the tension arrives. Okay,
Yes.
and
Well,
now it's break time.
now he's dropping the pretenses of pretending to be nice.
All right. Well,
Right.
All right, so
This is part of what I was trying to do with the questions. Like, if he's a bad guy, just poke him a little bit and be like, okay, nope, I'm done with these people. They
yes,
apparently they know too much.
yes, no. At this point, you're just like,
They're asking the wrong questions. They're poking their noses in the wrong places.
yes, basically.
And if they weren't bad guys, they would be like, oh, hey, there's bad guys about. This isn't good. Let us help
well,
you,
he
or
was
it's not our concern. Go
well,
away.
he was trying to get you to like, stay so that you could be ambushed. But at this point, Barjak said, "All right, let's leave," which is what I was trying to do earlier when I said he's basically given you an ultimatum of leave or stay. At this point, you asked more questions, and then Barjak said, "Let's leave," and he's like, "Okay, now we can't have you leave." He wanted to avoid a direct fight, but now we're getting into what could be a direct fight. That's the issue.
so
That's what I was trying to get at with he's given you
All
the
right.
ultimatum of leave or stay for the feast.
like I said, guys, I'm really sorry, but I'm not feeling it that much for tonight anymore.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I went a little too far, I think, in channeling my inner Columbo. I
No,
got a little
I
crazy
mean,
with the questions.
that's
I don't
fair.
really think it's no one's fault. It's just like,
It's just it's just been a bit busy week for you.
yeah, I don't know.
No,
Let's
same.
just,
Right.
let's just.
I feel that, man. I feel that. I was
I'm pretty sure. I'm
up
pretty
at
sure
5 o'clock
it'll.
this morning, so
And I'm pretty sure
and had
it'll
to
go
drive
better if we try again next time.
all across.
Okay, if you guys are sure, we can go ahead and hold off. And then, you know what? We're right before possibly a fight.
And
Maybe we'll have
hopefully,
Amos with us next time.
yes. I was to say, hopefully we have a full party the next time.
All right.
Preferable, especially for this situation. She's gonna watch the video from this and be like, "Oh, you fool!
Yeah. So
What are you doing? No!"
so
Remember
the
Waterdeep? Every time she wasn't there, you guys did something really stupid and almost died.
yeah. So the polite conversation is over. Now
Hedman, you weren't there for that.
now the polite threat has been issued.
Hmm.
All right. Well, anyway, Velik, thank you for.
All right, and that's a good cliffhanger.
Yeah, and
Really
that's a good enough
say-
cliffhanger to go off of.
Anyway, Velik, thank you for carrying this whole freaking session.
Yes, no, that
for the short
Like freaking Samwise carrying Frodo up Mount Doom. Just freaking. Anyway.
yeah, no, like Rudolph said, it's like playing Battleship. We hit all around the subject, but didn't quite score a hit. I guess I wasn't quite entirely clear with the just the these are your two choices kind of thing.
Anyway.
But yeah, no.
So yeah, I'm gonna go.
improvisation
Yeah, no.
campaign. There's got to be a healthy.
Oh, I've been
Amount
improving.
right.
I just wasn't clear enough with my explanation, I suppose. And also, we were both trying to be subtle and hide information, but we were both too subtle and hid too much information from each other as
I wasn't
players.
trying to hide information. I was just avoiding. I wasn't really trying to hide information. I was just trying to not come out and be like, "Are you cultist?"
Are you cultist? Brandishes knife.
Because that felt a little too metagamey.
Oh, that definitely would have gotten you.
Yeah,
like,
that felt a little. To me, that
he would have lied his ass off and definitely would
Metagame.
not have let you leave. If you had just gone out directly. But
well,
yeah, no. Okay, so we'll go ahead and leave
all right.
that for tonight. I'm sorry, chat. This was kind of a more boring game. No fights happened, but it was
But- I should be
In
able. I should be free next week, so I should be able to DM
Okay,
probably.
cool. So we'll probably have some Plane Raiders next week. Next week we'll definitely have some more action with, or the week after that we'll definitely have some more action with Prince of the Apocalypse. Unfortunately, these opening session or these opening investigation portions can go a little boring, and it's a little weird when the dungeons are the dungeons are specifically set up with the intention of the players come in and talk their way through instead of fighting their way in because they are way outgunned. So it's a little strange. Like there
Now we're gonna have to fight our way out.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. Unless you unless you turn around and start playing nice, if you continue to try to leave, it'll definitely be a fight.
Question:
Answer.
I
Does
don't
anyone have animal handling?
think we can stay at that place.
um
Uh,
like straight up there's like a
yes,
Huh.
actually, I do.
Well,
Surprisingly enough, how the hell did I get that?
you're gonna try
well,
and
that could
steal a
be
hippogriff.
that could be one option.
Well, I will say that
Huh?
the hippogriffs are like,
Wow.
judging by what you saw from the outside of the tower, they are way at the bottom of the spire.
Well, isn't there one just perched on the same on the same roof as we are on
Yeah,
right
there's a
now?
giant vulture there, but there's also a knight on it.
Well, we can just freaking take the night off and
Take the knight
freaking
off and steal his ride. I
yeah.
mean, that's certainly a thing you can try. I don't think.
Yeah, I've read on it. It's surprisingly easy to shove someone off a horse.
Although I'm pretty sure a giant vulture can only have like, I think a giant vulture is only large enough for one rider though. So,
Well, whatever. We all jump on it and we crash land slowly in the middle of the valley.
we'll see what happens. But yeah, no, like I don't
Or you
that
drive
that's
over to the end of the cliff and then run away.
yeah. No, like this. Oh man, I don't know how I feel about it because this is like super bizarre that like straight up they have a whole event of just like if you join them for a feast you get to go on a hunt with them, and I'm just like, what kind of players would be like, yeah, sure, we'll go to your feast, no questions asked.
Hmm.
Like, this is so weird, and I tried to prepare for it as best I could, but like when the book only gives you two options and both and the player and the NPC start playing chicken, it's like I don't know what to do here. But yeah.
Anyway,
Anyways, I think yeah, I guess let's call it for tonight if we're not really feeling it.
we'll call it for tonight, and we'll
Um,
see how Plane Raiders go because honestly, I have not touched my notes since last we played.
I don't even remember what happened last we played.
Well,
I think I know I
you
talked.
saved them. You saved this in the Sky Monastery. You managed to talk to the Anarch.
Yeah, and then I went.
Give her an intellect devour.
Yeah, and then I went to talk to the queen.
Anyways,
Yep,
let's
and
save
then
the recap for that.
Yeah, I don't even remember what happened after that point. But yeah,
well,
no.
that's where we stopped. You
Oh,
talked to
that
the
was where we
queen.
stopped.
You talked
Okay.
to the queen. You
So
informed her of what happened. What you
Okay,
did.
yeah,
so
that's where
so next Plane Raiders might be a little bit like this, where it's going to be another plot hook hunting episode. Um, but yeah, okay. Well,
we
thank
have a
you.
plot. We have to go get eaten by a
Yes, we have to go to get eaten by an
Yeah.
astral dreadnought. That's right.
I also
Uh,
kind of
Thanks,
prepared
Chad, for
ahead
showing up.
for. I also kind of prepared ahead for if you guys want to go back to the jungle and try to take over.
Oh yeah, we were gonna do that.
The town.
Yes.
I also kind of prepared for if you guys wanted to go back to Aranea, the Drow city.
Oh no.
And,
Good night.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have
All
a
right.
great
Well.
weekend, everyone,
Yeah. Let's go ahead and end the recording for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for.
and we'll see you all
Yep. We'll see you all next week for
for
some
Plane
Plane
Raiders.
Raiders.
Long schedule.
Yep.
Yep.
Out. Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep.
If anything changes,
We'll let you know on the Discord.
it'll
All
be in
right.
our Discord. Someone put up the Discord link. This episode will be on YouTube at some point in the hopefully near future.
I can't do it. I can't use Discord because the cameras.
And have a great weekend.
Yes, have a great weekend, everybody.
Goodbye, chat.
I'll get it.
Goodbye.
Got it.